Okay, so, well, I am Sayer Portiaedo. I'm working as a software engineer, well, as a test automation engineer at VoiceFlow. You can follow me on my social media accounts at Xavidop on Twitter, GitHub, YouTube, or Twitch. I am one of the organizers of DevOps Days Madrid and Madrid DevOps Meetup here in Madrid, Spain. I'm from Spain. I love the whole world related to the voice in terms of development and in terms of UX and voice designing. So I am also one of the organizers of the Alexa community in Spain here. Not only for all the people here in Spain, I mean for all the people that are talking in Spanish all around the world. So I have one podcast in Spanish called El Interior de Alexa. So if you want to start learning something about Alexa, you can start listening to that podcast. So it is in Spanish. It's important to notice that. And of course, you can find all my work I've done, all my blog posts, talks like this one, workshops on my personal website called Xavidop, xavidop.me. And that's it. So let me introduce what is VoiceFlow. VoiceFlow is the one of the most important platforms to develop and prototype and test not only Alexa skills but also Google Actions or chatbots for any platform. But today we are going to focus on the Alexa skills. So actually the VoiceFlow is a no-code platform. That means that you don't have to know don't have to know any kind of technical knowledge to build your Alexa skill using VoiceFlow. So there are three main platforms that allow us to create Alexa skills without coding, which are, the first one is the Alexa Flow Builder. This one is the official one from the Amazon team. Then we have Litexa, which is designed inside Amazon, but it is open source. And then we have VoiceFlow. So with VoiceFlow, VoiceFlow itself is a web app. It has an online editor, an online simulator. It is multi-platform. So there we can design, prototype, and build Alexa skills, Google Actions, or chatbots for any platform. It's really intuitive and is freemium. With the free accounts, you can do a lot of things. Most of the basic things to build Alexa skills are available in the free plan. So that's really cool. And there are a lot of documentation and tutorials. So yeah, in case you think that you are a little bit lost, you can find some tutorials, or you can find your response that you are looking for on the documentation, the tutorial videos on YouTube. So in VoiceFlow you can share video and receive comments. You can collaborate in real time. It has an online simulator. You can add links, labels, or images to the canvas, and you can export to PDF or PNG or JSON. You can share your prototypes. You can share whatever you have designed on voiceflow.com, and you can upload a bulk of utterances. So this is a video, but first of all, after that I will introduce some technical stuff that you have to know before starting designing any voice app or any conversational app, which is the first one is how the Alexa or any kind of platform works, like Google Action or any chatbots, any NLU or NLP processors, how it works. So the first thing is Alexa, the speech recognition works like this. The first thing that Alexa will will check is the wake up word, which can be Alexa or Amazon or Echo. Then the initial phrase, here is the open. Then the skill name, which is the application, and skill is an application built for the Alexa built-in devices, so you can activate at any time all the Alexa skills in your devices. So this is the name, is the skill name, and then we have the utterances and the slots. So for example here, the workshop is related to create a Pokédex. So this is an example. Here we are going to ask to Alexa for the weight of one Pokemon. In this case, the weight of Pikachu, for example. So as you can see here, we have the utterances and the slot. What is an utterance and what is a slot? The utterance is all the ways that we have that we can ask something. For example, here we have like tell me the weight of Pikachu, but for example in Spanish we have a lot of ways to ask for the weight of something. So everything, all of these utterances are asking for the same intent. That means that asking for the same intention. So after that we have the Pikachu. Pikachu, it is called a slot. In Dialogflow or Microsoft Lewis is called entity. This is just a variable. In Alexa is called a slot. So that's something that you have to know before we start. And yeah, so let's get started. Here is VoiceFlow. You can get your free account just signing into voiceflow.com here. Here you have in voiceflow.com, in sign in, you can create a new account. So here we are going to build a new Pokédex. You have to click to create project. We can call it this like Pokédex Summit. And then we can choose a logo for the Alexa skill. So let me create this one, workshop, this cool Pokeball. This really nice. And then as we are going to create an Alexa skill, we have to choose the Amazon Alexa project type. Of course, you can create the one for Google Assistant, as I mentioned before, one for the custom assistant. That means you can create any, for example, any chatbot for any platform, an IVR system, chatbot, or mobile app. So here we are going to, in English, and we are going to call it Pokédex Summit. Here is the invocation name. So when we talk to Alexa and when we to activate the Alexa skill, we have to say Alexa open Pokédex Summit, okay? Because it's the invocation name. So yeah, when we create the project here, we will have a canvas with only a block. Here you have this is a starting point. So when we start, when we activate the Alexa skill and when we start the interaction with the Alexa skill, the first point will be this one. And for example, if we want to introduce, one sec, if we want to introduce some kind of message when we start the Alexa skill, we can drag and drop any kind of blocks that we have here. Let's explain all the blocks that we have here. The first one is the speak block. So in the speak block here we have it's the block that Alexa will use to tell us something. The audio is to reproduce some MP3 file. The display is for the in Alexa you can design multimodal experience, for example for the Amazon Alexa Echo Show devices. So with that we will have to use the APL, which is Alexa Presentation Language. Is something similar to HTML but using JSON format. We are going to use it in this workshop. So yeah, here in the display we are going to use it. We are going to drag and drop to create a multimodal experience. So Alexa, we will speak something, we will tell us something, and then we will see in real time on a screen of an Echo Show some cartoons of the Pokemons. This is the card. This is for mobile, so you can send some card information to the mobile app. This is a stream to make an audio stream. And here you have the user input, the intent, which is exactly the same that I explained before, the intent and the slots. The prompt, that means that the Alexa will be listening for any kind of intent. And the choice. So the choice is an if-else block, but all the options will be intents. Instead of the if condition, in the logic block, which is the if condition. So in the if condition, you will evaluate values for the variables instead of intents. The set block to set a value of a variable. The capture to capture something from the user. The random flow and exit. The exit is to close the Alexa skill. The flow is to create a subflow here. So in voice flow we can create flows and subflows. So you can create contextual conversation using flow. So you can create, for example, a help intent you can put a help intent in a subflow, and then when you ask for help, depending on the flow that you are, you can ask, you can tell different, because you already have the context, because you know in where flow you are. So in the random is just a random string to choose different values. The other one is the API integration. So for in order to communicate to external information systems, we can call an API. We're going to use it to download the information of the Pokemons. We can get information, update or delete from Google Sheets. We can trigger whatever we want using Zapier, and we can add some JavaScript code, for example, to make a transformation when we download information for the Pokemon API that we're going to use. And then here the channel is the blocks related to the Alexa. So if you create a Google Assistant project, you will see that in the channel you will find different blocks, because it depends on the channel. So in Alexa we can make in-skill purchasing, we can cancel a purchase, we can create reminders, get user information, request some permissions, make an account linking, or send a directive. So let's get started. The first thing that we are going to do here is drag and drop the speak block. So when we create here, as you can see, is as easy as drag and drop. When we open the Alexa skill, Alexa will tell us the following string. So, welcome to your Pokédex. You can ask me for a Pokemon. Which one do you want to know? Or which one do you want to get the information, right? So yeah, as easy as this, we can test our Alexa skill here, just running the test, pressing the test button. So here we can see we have to train the Alexa skill when we add blocks in order to have our to keep our NLP NLU up to date. So here we have a training of our NLP NLU using AI. So here, when we start testing, after having our Alexa skill already trained, we will see that Alexa will tell us the message like, welcome to your Pokédex, you can ask me for a Pokemon and which one do you want to get information. So as you can see here, there's no more interaction, so this is why the session has ended. So this is why you can not interact with the Alexa skill. Why? Because there's not like a prompt, because Alexa is not listening for an intent. So for that, we have to drag and drop the prompt block here. And as you can see, the Alexa will keep listening for an intent. If we try the same, we will see that Alexa will tell us the message, but the session will not finish because Alexa will wait until we tell him or her something. So let's start designing our interaction model, our voice interaction model, the VUI. What is that? The voice interaction model, which is our main frontend. This is all the utterances and slots that we are going to use. So for that, we have to go here in the model, and then in intents, we are going to create a new intent. This is the intent, which is the identifier, and here is all the utterances that we are going to use to invoke that intent. So here we can call it like Pokemon info, for example, and then we can have like this, which Pokemon is, and here to create a new slot, we have here between brackets, we can create the new slot called Pokemon here by clicking create. And the slot, here you have all the slots that are that has Amazon available, but the Pokemon one is not a new one. There's some slots that are that already exist, like the actor, airport, airlines, animal, but the Pokemon no. So we are going to introduce some examples here. Here 25 and Pika and Pikachu, for example. This is the identifier and these are the synonyms. Here you have to enter all the slot values of your custom slot type. We are going to use it to train our NLP NLU in order to detect and identify properly all the intents or the utterances and all the slots. For this example, for this quick example, we are going to use only the Pikachu, only one value. So here, when we create the slot, then we have to click enter, and that's it. We have our intent called Pokemon info, and then here we have all the utterances. Here you can add all the utterances you want, and the slots. So here for the slots, you can play with the fulfillment of the slot. You can click here if it is required and all of that kind of stuff. For this example, I will keep it simple, so that's enough for me. And then if we close the model window, we can drag and drop here the intent. So here we can choose our new intent. As similar to the slots, we have also intents built in for the Alexa team, like cancel, help, loop on, more, next, yes, no, pause. But in this case, we are going to choose the Pokemon info. So here, as you can see, the Alexa, when we start our Alexa skill, the Alexa will tell us, will ask us if we want to ask for a specific Pokemon, and then we will Alexa will keep listening for an intent. Then after that we can introduce the same phrase, the same utterance that we have introduced here, and it will be trigger that block. Let's try it. As we introduce a new utterance and a new slot, we have to train our Alexa skill. We have to train our NLP NLU using AI in order to trigger properly our Pokemon info intent. So it is already trained, and then when we start the Alexa skill interaction, yeah, here we can create. We can ask, for example, for Pikachu. Here, which Pokemon is Pikachu? It is finished, but you can see if we click here in the debug mode, it is be jumped, and yeah, we will see here, yeah, the confidence interval, which has a 100% for the Pokemon info. So this is because there is a match between the utterance that we enter and the intent that we have. So in the test view, we have some cool things. We can see here the value of the variables. If we have some visuals, we can see all the visuals here on the Echo Show. You can choose all the Echo Shows that you want. And here you can, as you seen before, you can see that we can enable or disable the debug mode, the intent, confidence and store, and the guided navigation. So yeah, oops, sorry. Yeah, after that, as you can see, when we trigger the intent, the conversation finish, because there Alexa will not keep listening for a new intent. So for that, we have to drag and drop a new prompt block. So thanks to that, you can have like an endless conversation, and you can trigger every time the intent you want. So yeah, that's it. We have the information, we have the Pokemon, the value properly filled. We can test, for example, here we can test like Alexa tell us something like finding information about, and here you can use the value of the slot, for example, Pokemon. So here, when we test it again, and we type which Pokemon is Pikachu here in singular, yeah,
information about Pikachu.
You can see that the session has not ended because actually it's listening for an intent. And then Alexa tell us the finding information about Pikachu, because it's exactly the same that we have done here in the speak block. So yeah, now it's time to call the API. For the API, we're going to use the Poke API. So yeah, for the API, we have to drag and drop the API block here. And then we are going to use this endpoint. For example, for Pikachu, here you have a lot of information, that's true. And here you can run some examples. So we are going to call here the Poke API /API /v2 /Pokemon dash species / the Pokemon, exactly the slot that we have. We are going to do a get request, and the most important thing here, let me test it, species for Ditto, for example. Yeah, here the most important thing is the flavor text entries. The flavor text entries is the description in all languages for all the Pokemon games. Like for Pokemon Red, the description in English for Pikachu, in Pokemon Blue, in Pokemon Pearl, and something, and so on. So for that, this is why in here we are going to get the information only for the flavor text entries, which is the, let me close it, is the property that we have in the response. So all the response is in the response object, and then we are going to access to the flavor text entries. And here we are going to create a new variable called descriptions here. As you can see, there is not a variable called descriptions, so we are going to create the new descriptions. Yeah, here we have, and you can test it at any time. So here, this is the, as you can see here, the only variable is the Pokemon slot in all the requests. So it will ask us for a value. So if we type Pikachu here, we will see all the response. Here, as I told you before, we have the response object, and down response object we have the flavor text entries object. And here you have all the descriptions for that Pokemon, for all the Pokemon generations, all the Pokemon games. So in the flavor text entries we have all the information. Then we need to process that information, right? In order to Alexa tell us that information in a proper way. So for that, we are going to create a little snippet of JavaScript code. It's really easy. Let me just introduce it. I will copy and paste it, but I will explain it. So yeah, here let me paste it. Yeah, that's it. That's perfect. So we are going to iterate to our descriptions. Let me change that. Description, because I have it here in Spanish. Yeah. Okay, so here you can add JavaScript code, as I told you before. I will explain it a little bit later. The first thing here is that we are going to iterate to all of the descriptions that we have recollect here, that we get here in the get request. And then the first request the first description that contains, this is the index of method that contains the locale here. If we set the locale as we have to set the locale as English, for example, we will get the first entry. And after that, we are going to apply some filter. That means that we are going to remove some stranger characters that we can find in the get request, because I have some troubles there. So for that, we have to set this locale variable. The locale variable is a global variable. It is already exist, and it is properly filled when we create when we interact within Alexa. But now we are in voice flow, so we need to remove it, this line. So let me create an if else here, a quick one. Yeah, here. So this is important because in the here the locale, sorry, the user ID is test user. Let me write this code and I will explain you in a bit. Yeah, here this block. Then we are going to set the variable, the locale variable, which is already exist, to n US, for example. Perfect. And then goes directly here, and else goes directly here. Let me put it here, much prettier. Yeah. So what's happening here? When we are testing in the inside voice flow, within voice flow, the test user, the user ID will be filled with the value test user, and the locale, it is not filled. So using, this is a best practice as a voice flow developer. I suggested to do that. I suggested you to do that. So yeah, we have the user ID. Here in when you interact with an Alexa built-in device, the user ID obviously will not have the test user, but when you are testing here within voice flow, it will have this value. So with that, you can play with the setting the locales or whatever values that you, or whatever variables that you want to set. So this is a good practice. Remember that the locale variable and the user variable will be set when you upload to the Alexa Developer Console and when you interact with a real Alexa device. So here, in order to get some information when we are testing, as if we go back to here to the code, the index of method is a contain. So if the locale, which is NUS, contains the language, so if you can see here the language, here flavor text entries, language name, we have something like N. So this is why I'm using the this contains. So when NUS contains when N contains NUS, just give me that value. So after that, we are going to tell the user the value that we have found. So here, as you can see, we store the value in the toSay variable, but I don't create the toSay variable. We need to create that in order to use it in the next steps. So for that, we have the in the model window here down in the model window, we have the intent slots and variables. So here we need to create the toSay variable, and then after that, this is filled here in the JavaScript code, and we can invoke here with the toSay. So let's test it quickly. as we don't have introduced new utterance or slot, we don't have to train our Alexa skill. So yeah, when we start testing, as you can see here, we have enabled the debug mode, and the intent confidence score. So as you can see here, we have everything what is happening here. So we have all the trace that what is happening in our Alexa skill. We have evaluated the user ID equal test user. It is evaluated to true. Then we have set the locale to NUS. That's perfect. After that, then Alexa is listening for an intent. So let's ask about Pikachu. So it is triggering, it will trigger the API, and here you have, here is you can see that the API is called successfully here, and then the descriptions will have all this enormous object, which is the same that we have here. So that's really cool, because then the first entry that contains the English language, we will get that one, and then Alexa will explain the information of Pikachu. So here you can see that the description of Pikachu: when several of these Pokemon gather, the electricity could build and cause lightning storms. So as you can see here, in 3 steps we have a powerful Pokédex built in and using voice flow. So after that, let's introduce some visuals, some really cool visuals. One sec. Yeah. So for the visuals, we have to make another API call. So for the API, as this one, we are going to use this one. Perfect. That's perfect. Here. Same, drag and drop. So, and really easy. So the endpoint here, instead of dash Pokemon / Pokemon dash species, we are going to set the exactly the same, but instead of Pokemon species, just Pokemon. So there we can get the information here. Using that, we will get some general information, and one of the most important versions that we have here are the sprites. And sprite is just an 8-bit cartoon of the Pokemon, and we are going to use the from default. So here, if we copy this value, for example, for the Pokemon called Ditto, which is the 132, here you will see that the sprite, the character, the animation. So here, if we invoke it here with Pikachu, there we go. In the sprite section, we have here, of course, exactly the same. We're going to use the from default, and then the from default. Here you have Pikachu, right? So here, exactly the same. We are going to call the Pokemon endpoint, and we are going to get from the response object, we are going to get the sprite dot from default. From the sprite, we are going to get the from default. So here we are going to get that information, and we are going to store it in the image variable, which is not already created, so we have to create it. That's perfect. And after that, we are ready to set our multimodal interaction here. Just drag it and drop to the multimodal. We're going to use Apl, so for that we have to call the advanced, and then we are going to import one Apl document, Apl JSON file that I have already prepared for this workshop. Let me open it. Yeah, so here in documents, yeah, sorry, workshops, it's this one. Let me open it in Visual Studio Code. There we have here, perfect. So here, this is an Apl document. Let me zoom in, yeah. So the Apl is something similar as an HTML, but now built in or using a JSON format. So the most important thing here is that we have the document object. We are going to create an Apl document, and we are going to use the Apl 1.4. We are going to import the Alexa layouts version 1.2.0. Sorry, and we are going to use here in the main template. We are going to use from the Alexa layout the Alexa detail layout. So for the Alexa layout, for the Alexa detail, sorry, we have to set some values like the primary text, the secondary text, the header attribution image. So everything is done, and then here is the document part, and then here is the data sources. As you can see here, we have in the image source, primary text source, and secondary, we have something like $payload.bodyTemplateData.image. So that means that we will receive that value dynamically from the data sources. So here we have the data sources, we have the bodyTemplateData object, which is the same as here, and then we have all the properties that we are going to set it dynamically. So in the left side we have image, secondary text, or Pokemon name, for example, but in the right side we have here the image, to say, and Pokemon. What that means? That means that we are going to set on the right side of the data sources exactly the same variables that we have set in our VoiceFlow project. So yeah, let me change the desktop. Yeah, so let's drag and drop the Apl here. Perfect. Okay, and we can create a preview here. There you cannot see any value because this is just a preview, but let's test it on our test tool. As I told you before, we have here all the echo shows, and we can preview directly the value or the visual, sorry, using Apl. So yeah, here, which Pokemon is Pikachu here, and then we will see the same information, and apart from that we will see the visual here. It will be loaded. And here, and boom, it's working. Now we have a multimodal interaction using VoiceFlow. We have an Alexa skill using the voice and using the visual. So we have a multimodal interactions, and we have a really cool and powerful Pokédex. So that's really cool. I will share with you all this project, so no worry about that. We can upload to Alexa. So this is, we have here in VoiceFlow, but you can test it and upload it directly to Alexa just clicking this button. So here, when we click to the upload to Alexa button, we have a progress bar, and when it is finished, we will go to the Alexa developer console, and then we will see that we can interact with the Alexa skill using a real device and getting the same interaction that we have had using the voice flow test tool and the prototype tool. So here is in the 70%. It is just finishing. Let's open in the developer console. Here, let me sign out and sign in again with the workshop account. Yeah, here, my account. Okay. So here we have the Pokédex is successfully uploaded. So that sounds awesome. Here we have the Pokédex Summit, and then if we go to the test tab, we will see here in the development, we can call open Pokédex Summit. It should work. If not, let me sign out and sign in again. Okay. Add account. Let's sign in again. Perfect. Let's go to the test tab. Here in the Alexa developer console, let's invoke our Alexa skill called Pokédex Summit. Awesome.
Welcome to your Pokédex.
Okay, so here we have the welcome to your Pokédex.
Which one do you
So
want to
let's
open?
introduce the which Pokemon is Pikachu. Perfect.
Finding information about
And
Pikachu
here
inside
you
the
have
Pokédex
exactly the same result, but here is the Alexa developer console. If you have linked this Alexa developer account in your if you have some Alexa built-in devices with this Alexa developer account, you can interact directly using your real devices. So that's awesome. And yeah, that's it. As you can see, in less than an hour we have a really powerful Pokédex working, and that's it. That's just some recommendations. You can follow me, remember, on Twitter at Shavidop, or Twitch, or YouTube, or all the social media. You can follow me at Shavidop. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can see as well the Alexa developers official channels in Twitter, Twitch, or YouTube. You can follow them, and you can follow the Alexa champions, which are who are the most important people in the world related to the Alexa development here. In Spain we have Joaquin, Nieves, Javi, and Lucio. And that's it. If you have any questions, I have all the DMs on LinkedIn and on Twitter open. So if you have any question, just you can reach me there. And thank you the Ibero-American Chatbot Summit to bring me this opportunity. And see you soon. See you soon. Bye bye.